Hey everyone, welcome back to Grow Leafy. I have here an empty seed tray. All these cells are going to be filled with cold, hardy seeds that I'm getting ready to put in here. So if you've got an empty seed tray, make sure you will get it so that we can do this together. So let's go. So what I've got here is potting mix, seed tray with all these cells. I've got seeds and tags. They help you stay organized. That way you don't forget what you put in the seed cells, because that does happen. So you got to stay organized. So one of the very important first things that I did first was to sterilize the potting mix. I sterilized it with boiling hot water. You could either boil the water on a stove, you can use an electric kettle type thing that you plug in, and that's what I actually used to boil the water. Saturate it, poured it all in there, and allowed it to just sit. Actually, I just let it sit overnight. I could have allowed it to cool down, however long it would have taken, maybe a couple of hours, but I knew that the next day I was going to come here and do the rest of the work. So you want to make sure that you do that, because if you don't, you may end up with fungus gnats. It's supposed to help with a lot of that. And so last year, I forgot that step. Didn't mean to, but I just did. Forgot that step. And I got some fungus gnats. Now, it wasn't too many, but a little is still annoying. It's just too many for me. So I just want to make sure that this helps out this year. I did do that the first year when I started gardening, and a couple of years ago. I did that, but I forgot to do it last year. So make sure that you do that. You don't miss that step. The seeds I will be sowing in here are kohlrabi. I've got cabbage, two different kinds of cabbage, a red acre cabbage, beautiful color. Look at that color. So red acre cabbage, pak choi white stem cabbage, which I can't wait, really exciting, because I have some bok choy that I'm actually growing inside, indoors, if you can see this plant over here. So, but I also want to grow some outdoors. I also have some thyme and rosemary as well. Now, I just need to say something about the rosemary. The rosemary, when I tried planting it last year, I was not very successful. So I'm hoping that it works out differently this time. I don't know why. I don't know why the germination did not work out, but it just did not germinate. So I'm going to try it again. I'm the type of person that if it doesn't work, I will keep trying until I figure it out, because I do like rosemary. I'm going to figure that out. So let's just go ahead and fill these cells up so that I can put the seeds in. Actually, I'm going to feel this, feel how much moisture is in it. So it's still pretty moisturized pretty well, but I'm going to use all of these seed cells, so I'm going to go ahead and fill them all up. You know what? Sometimes it's just easier. Go ahead and just use my hands. You know, I can I can control where everything is going, so I'm just going to use my hands. Why not? Why not? It's just so relaxing working in the garden and getting your hands all into this. Okay. So that's all you're going to do, is you're going to fill up all of your cells. And I'm just going to show you this much, like just a little section first. And then I'll show you what it looks like after. Let's just fill some of these up. Now the size of these cell trays, I believe these are like 1.5. They're not 2 inches. Well, they might be like 2 inches. I honestly don't remember. They're fairly small. They look like they're about 1.5 inch. They're definitely not the 3 inch. So it's between the 1.5 inch to 2. I don't even think that it's a 2 size. Seashell. I mean, did I just say seashell? I did. Seed shell. Oh, that's a tongue twister. Seashell, seashell, seashell. Seed shell. That really is a tongue twister. Seed shell, seashell, seashell. That might be something I just need to post up on my Grow Leafy community and see if you can say that 3 times really fast. See what comes out. You might end up saying seashell instead. Because there's already so much moisture in here, and it's not wet, damp. It's not soaking wet or anything like that. It's just moisturized just well enough that typically, like when you're putting in some dry potting mix in here, it just, and you add water to it, it just shrinks down. And because this was already moisturized, it's not going to shrink that much already. So I'm going to go ahead and fill up the rest of the shells and show you what that looks like. Okay, so as you can see, everything's already done. And I also went ahead and let me show you, I went ahead and completed the tags. Okay, that way it's already done. I put the seeds in, it's already done. I don't forget to tag it. But on here, I put the name of the actual plant that I will be growing. I date it for today. And then I'm also putting the name of the company where I got the seeds from, so that I know if I am just trying to understand like what seed I really liked. I like the germination rate. Maybe I didn't like something, or if I just want to make some notes, some personal notes for myself. That way I know what kind of seeds, company that it came from. And if I want to order from there again, you know, then I'm able to do it. It informs me much better. All right, so I'm going to be starting with the kohlrabi. And I have, like I said, I have 5 seed packets. And so I'm basically going to just making it really simple, taking 2 rows for each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, perfect. So there's enough seed rows the way I'm setting up for each. And I'm going to put about 2 seeds per cell so that I have a more of a guarantee of germination. And I'm going to only put in maybe just like a quarter of an inch. So just a nail, like really, really shallow hole right in here. It's going to be really little. Okay. Just right in there. That's it. Actually, not in the center because I'm putting in 2. So I'm going to give it a little bit of space. And then once it germinates, then I'm going to thin it out and keep the stronger of the 2 that looks stronger to me. Here I've got the seed for the kohlrabi and drop it in there. What you want to be careful of is making sure that you are not opening up a seed packet over the soil. I did that mistake last year by accident. I opened it up and the seeds all fell in. That was hilarious. The good thing is that they were they were larger seeds, so they were beets, and so it was easy for me to be able to find them. All right, so I'm just poking just very shallow holes in the seed mix, in the potting soil mix, and dropping it in there, and then closing it up. That's it. So this one might need to be compacted just a little bit more. Let me push that down, poke the holes in it again. You can see it's not very deep groove at all. And then I'm going to just pop that in there. I don't want to forget. That's really important. It's easy to forget. And there we go. And that's it. And the size of the red cabbage is the same actually as the kohlrabi. So, and as a matter of fact, all of these seeds that I have here pretty much are about the same size, except for I believe that the rosemary might be a little bit smaller. And so they're all going to go basically about the same depth inside, just a 1/4 inch deep. You don't want to lodge your seeds in very deeply, especially these smaller ones, because they don't need to go that deep. They do not have seed shells on top of them that really need extra assistance from the potting mix on top to help the seed shells to pop off of it. And so it doesn't need to go very deep. Whereas if this was a larger seed, like a pea or beets, something like that, or even, a Swiss chard, then yes, you're going to need some extra soil to go on top of it just to really help make sure that those seed shells are popping off of it. So now I have time. Now, that is super tiny. I'm afraid that it's going to end up everywhere. This one, I'm literally just probably going to just sprinkle it on top. But it's so small. I really want to be careful and make sure that this is secure enough. Be careful that it just doesn't end up on everything else. Go ahead and make the little grooves. But it's still supposed to be about a quarter inch. The back of the packet says, start indoors 8 to 10 weeks before last frost, direct sow after last frost, days to germination, so it's very long, 14 to 21 days to germinate. All right, the temperature, see what the temperature is supposed to be, between 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Days to maturity, 55 to 60. But there's one right there. Just drop it. So my experience, even in the next one, is rosemary that I'm going to be dealing with. My experience with the herbs so far have been so-so, okay? To be honest, I am still trying to learn how to really do that effectively. So if you have any suggestions on growing the rosemary or thyme, please let me know what the suggestions are. What are you, just so that I can have a better production in germination rate when dealing with herbs in particular. But these are so tiny. I'm trying to be very careful, but if I have more than what was planned to germinate, I will just thin it out, just like I would with any other crop. Just thin it out. Yeah, these are so tiny. Because it's so tiny, even for me to even see it, I'm just going based off of feel. Like I can feel that I picked up a seed, okay? I can feel it. So that's pretty much what I'm going off of when I'm picking these out of the packet. It's just based on the feel, because I don't want to pour this into my hand and then it accidentally gets everywhere. Like I could feel I picked up 2. Just gonna drop it in there. And then I'll continue for the next. And let me make sure I mark it with thyme right there. Water the cells. Want to make sure it's watered really well this first time. And that should be it. Another thing you may really want to consider is getting a heat mat, especially if your room is very cool. For germinating seeds, you really want to have temperatures ranging between, like 75 to 85. That's a very comfortable range. And what will help it would be a heat mat as well, because it gets cool in this room. And then also a dome that will go over on top of it as well. And so really once the seedlings pop up, I really want to immediately get that underneath light. So even if I have it in a place that does not have light, as soon as I see that, I need to have it underneath light. So you can just go ahead and put it underneath grow lights if that's what you have. If you're in a warmer zone, you can go ahead, and many of you may be outside already doing this and having your seed trays already outside, but it's very cold here. So I'm going to do mine from indoors, and then I have grow lights as well. So that was just another key point that I just want to give you in order to help with speeding up the germination. That is it. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you were able to get something from it. And I'm hoping that you're going to have a chance to be able to start some seeds indoors for your garden outdoors. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. I'm going to have a lot of other videos this year, and I'd love for you to join the Grow Leafy community. But until then, remember to grow leafy, and I'll see you next time. Bye.